Well, listen, I hear you. But the question is, do you really care? That's my question to you. Okay, so you have to really solve that equation. It's very important. But let me talk to you today about the top 5 new LLC business loans from big national banks that pull personal Equifax for fair credit. Okay, so this is important. So we're talking about new LLC business loans, but this is not EIN only. Okay, so the bank is going to pull your personal Equifax for fair credit. Don't you go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee you. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome City Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to share with you the top 5 new LLC business loans from big national banks that pull personal Equifax for fair credit. Number 5, I want to talk to you about Citizens. Our score, 7.9 over 10. When you think about Citizens, first of all, you want to have a relationship with them at the personal level. You need to have a business account with them, okay? But the cool thing is that actually Citizens has a constellation of loans for new LLCs, okay? Usually they want you to have it to be in existence for at least 1 year if you have a business. But if you have a relationship with them and you apply at a branch, I repeat, at a branch, they can actually qualify you. Not a problem, okay? So when we talk about Citizens, you can actually borrow up to $250,000, okay? And the cool thing is that you can actually borrow as a business loan, okay? You can have a business or equipment, what they call equipment flex loan, okay? This is basically machinery financing, all that kind of stuff. So if you have a new LLC and you need, for instance, to buy a piece of equipment, they could actually finance that for you. And if you are an existing Citizens client, okay, very important. So we're talking about what? We're talking about business line of credit, where that a line of credit, as you know, allows you to access funds for short-term uses. I'm talking about purchasing inventory. You want to pay accounts receivable or managing seasonal needs. Okay. They also have something called a business mortgage. So this is a CRE loan. So commercial real estate loan. Okay. And Citizens also is a partner in the SBA program, SBA funding program. So if you need to have an SBA, let's say a loan, in other words, a government-backed loan, Citizens can actually help you out. What I want to say overall about Citizens is that they're limited to $25,000. I mean, $25 to $250,000. Okay, that's the maximum limit on all the credit products. It doesn't matter if you're looking for a business loan or you're looking for a business line of credit or business equipment loan. They will cap you out at $250,000. If you want to boost your chances to be approved real quick, you want to apply at a branch and you want to be an existing personal Citizens, let's say customer, but you also want to open a Citizens business account. Very important, okay? And you want to apply at a branch. Don't do this online or over the phone, whatever. No, you want to go to the branch. Number 4, we have here Fifth Third. Our score 8.6 over 10. So what we love about Fifth Third is that they're really close to their clients. So if they accept you as a new LLC business loan, they will actually assign someone to you. This will be your banker, okay, and that person will actually answer all questions you have. So it's very important to maintain a good line of relationship, a good line of communication rather, with your Fifth Third credit expert, okay? So when we talk about Fifth Third business loans, they actually will cap you out at $500,000, okay? It's very important. And the thing here is that they do a lot of things. They actually do lines of credits and term loans. Okay, so so you have access to capital for everything. I mean, and the cool thing is they have fast approval, they have fast funding, and flexible payments. This is really good. And I said this before, Fifth Third is really, really kicking ass in that department. In other words, they will actually make sure that the process goes as fast as possible. But please remember, you have to provide the right paperwork, okay? So they provide lines of credit, term loans, secured line of credit. You can actually borrow from Fifth Third for real estate loans also if you're a new LLC business. What I want to say here, the process is analogous. It is similar to what I said about Citizens. You got to be a Fifth Third customer, okay? And you got to have a strong relationship with them at the personal level, and also open a Fifth Third business account. Very important. And you want preferably to apply at a branch. I want to emphasize that, okay? So if you look for additional financing and you want to get it through Fifth Third, they actually can take care of you. In other words, they have something called a Green Sky program. In other words, you're able to get financing very fast. In other words, the paperwork needed for Green Sky program loans is a little, I think it's just a little low. Okay, you don't have to provide a lot of things. Whereas on a normal business loan, they will ask you for gazillions of documents. Here, they're only asking maybe 3 or 5. Okay, and you can also get SBA financing through Fifth Third. So Fifth Third is a certified SBA lender, not a problem. So you can get an SBA loan for all the things that you need for construction, acquisition or expansion, refinancing, working capital, exporting, and so on and so forth. Number 3, we have Capital One. Our score, 9/10. Now, Capital One actually does grant a lot of loans, does provide a lot of loans for new LLC businesses, okay? And they pull, and the thing with Capital One is they pull all kinds of bureaus, not just one, okay? But what I want to say here is that Capital One is very different, though. They're a different kind of animal. The thing here is that they will look at your application very thoroughly. In other words, their process is lengthier than others. But the cool thing is you can borrow a lot of money. Yeah, they can actually lend you up to $5 million. Now, they don't have, I would say, traditional business loans for new LLCs. They do have business lines of credit, okay? This is kind of similar. It works on similarly to a credit card. But the cool thing is you have access to the cash, and they can actually approve you up to $5 million. Obviously, Capital One is a bigger bank than Fifth Third and Citizens, and they really, as I said before, their process is lengthier. They will assign a banker to you too, so you have a banker that will help you through the process. But the cool thing is, try to have all your paperwork before contacting them. Okay, so Capital One provides 3 categories of loans, of business loans. They have real estate term loans. We're speaking about CRE, so your commercial real estate loan, okay? And here you can actually borrow up to $5 million, okay? And the maturity, 20 years. And they have lines of credit, so you can use the cash that you get from Capital One to improve cash flows for your daily operations, okay? And the cool thing is that they allow you to actually use the cash to bridge the gap between your goals, in other words, your short-term goals, and the cash flow required to achieve them. Okay, so sometimes when you have a chasm, when you have a gap between your accounts receivable and accounts payable, this is where a line of credit from Capital One actually is very cool. So $5 million maximum. And actually, Capital One is also part of the National SBA loan program. Okay, if you want to qualify for a Capital One business loan, you basically need to be in business for at least 2 years, and you need to have or open a business checking account with Capital One. However, you may qualify if you have had a strong relationship with Capital One in the last 5 years and can present a solid business plan. So even if you have a new LLC business and you obviously have not been in business for 2 years, but you can present a solid business plan and at least be a customer with Capital One for 5 years, not a problem, okay? And so overall, this is a great loan to consider. Number 2, we have Truist. Our score, 9.4/10. So when you think about Truist, what we love with Truist is that this is the bank that is very organized. They are strong in terms of technology. So if you love technology, you want to go with Truist because they have, when you look at their app, you look at their online banking, they really have a whole suite of educational tools out there online and FAQ, whatever. So what we love is that you actually can borrow up to $100,000, and the tenor here is up to 60 months. Okay, and what we love here is that they actually offer a diversity of loans. They offer loans secured by additional collateral. Okay, they offer unsecured loan. They offer there are a lot of things. I mean, it's totally up to you. It's totally up to you. And the cool thing is, as I said before, technology is strong here. You can track your balance online. You can make scheduled monthly payments of principal and interest. You can choose the length of your loan. Okay, and this is kind of cool. Now, if you the loan from Truist is great if you want to make a one-time purchase, you want to fund a specific project or initiative, you want to consolidate debt, or you want to lock in a better interest rate by refinancing. So this is really good. Okay, so in addition to I would say, in addition to a small business loan, they also have a small business line of credit. Okay, here also the maximum limit is $100,000. We are speaking about 12 to 36 months terms. Okay, this is really good. And what we love with business line of credit is that they actually seem to approve people faster. Yeah. So you just have to apply for a specific line of credit amount. You want to borrow up to your available credit limit. You want to access funds by transferring money to your checking account or by writing check. One thing I want to say here is you still want to actually be a customer. You got to be a Truist customer, and you got to be there with them for a while, okay? Because usually big banks want your business to be around to have been around for at least 2 years. If you're a new LLC business, what you want to do is you want to parlay your good individual relationship with the bank into a business relationship, okay? So you're basically telling them, hey, listen, I've been with y'all for 3 years, for 10 years, whatever. And now I have a business. Here is my business plan. I'm cool. I'm ready to go. I just need y'all to back me. Okay. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We are also having a conversation about the top 5 new LLC business loans from big national bank that pull personal Equifax for fair credit. I want to talk to you now about number 1, in our view, KeyBank. Our score 9.7 over 10. So with KeyBank, you are looking at a maximum loan amount of $500,000. Yeah, I'm talking about, this is the real deal right now, okay? We're talking about business loans that are very flexible, okay? So you're looking at a minimum amount of $10,000 to a maximum of $500,000. That's what I'm talking about. And the cool thing is, in terms of tenor, in terms of maturity, they can go all the way to 7 years. You heard that right, 7 years. So that's 12 to 84 months, okay? This is really good. So what we love about KeyBank is that you have the ability to finance to make regular purchases, to finance equipment purchases. Okay, you have it's a lot of things you can actually do. One thing we have realized during the application process is that they actually will ask you all the questions up front. This is why you want to apply at a branch also here. All those lenders, you want to go to a branch. Now, except Capital One, you might want to apply to branch. Now, even Capital One has branches in the country. So if you are lucky enough to live close to a Capital One branch, go for it, But speaking about KeyBank, it's better that you apply at a branch, okay? They'll ask you your general information. They want you to have at least 2 years of operational existence. But hey, if you have a good relationship with them and you can parlay that relationship into a great business relationship, you will get the loan, okay? And by converting that personal education to business, to that personal relationship to business relationship, I mean, you just have to talk to them. Go to the branch, have a conversation with people, and let them ask you all the questions they want to ask, and answer them. to the best of your ability, and answer them properly. Okay. And so in addition to business term loans, they also provide SBA loans. Okay. Here you are speaking about loan amount that go all the way to $12 million. Okay. Now you can have collateralized loan or non-collateralized loan through this program, but you know that when we speak about an SBA guarantee, we are speaking about the federal government guaranteeing your loan. So the process here is stricter. The application process is more thorough. So I have two bonuses for you. If you have made it so far, that means you are really, really a good boy, a good girl, and we want to reward you. So I want to share with you two other banks that we actually uncovered while we were doing the research. Okay, we have here BMO Harris. Our score is 7.6 over 10. Now, what we love with BMO Harris is that they are very personal. They offer personalized customer service. In other words, they will assign a banker to you as well. Okay. Now, BMO Harris has, I think, a restricted geography than Key Bank, for instance. However, they are a solid bank. Really, they are. And with BMO Harris, you actually can borrow under a loan program, okay, and you can borrow from $100,000 to $1 million under the business loan program, or you can borrow under the business line of credit program from $10,000 to $1 million. Okay, so and you can they actually offer you that. I mean, once they approve you, you can actually choose a fixed rate term loan or variable rate revolving line of credit. And so we kind of love that flexibility because you never know why you need the money, okay, or when you need the money for that matter, okay. And you can actually collateralize the loan or non-collateralize it. It's totally up to you. And you want to have a business account, okay. You want to be at least a BMO individual customer for several years, okay. And you want to open a business bank account, very important. But the whole application process, very straightforward, and they will assist you, okay? And so in addition to business loans and lines, if you are in that category of a funding program, you can actually seek CRE loans through BMO Harris. So CRE, I'm speaking about commercial real estate loans, okay? This is really good. And here, the amounts are similar. So we're looking at $100,000 to $1 million, okay? So you can actually have your loan approved within 3 days. It's really that fast. But again, you have to do all the legwork beforehand. Okay, you got to do all the prep work beforehand so that when it goes to underwriting, things go even faster. Okay, and you can secure your loan with owner-occupied residential real estate. Okay, and here BMO will have a first or second lien. It really depends. But yeah. So overall, BMO Harris is a great lender to consider for your new LLC business loan. So BMO Harris, our score is 7.6 over 10. Another lender in the bonus category is First Republic. Our score is 7.3 over 10. Now, actually, First Republic is a second tier, or what we call second tier, or a bank that has less geographical clout. However, if you live in the areas that the bank covers, this could be a great lender to consider. Very important, okay? And so when we talk about business now, First Republic is a little, I think, they are a little scared when it comes to business loans. So they usually give you loans that have collateral, they have collateralized. I mean, they collateralize business loans. Let me put it that way. So if you're a new LLC, you can still get a loan from them, but you got to talk to them. You have to make sure that the loan that they don't offer unsecured business loans just right off the bat. They don't do that. So they will actually give you something like constructions and renovation loans. Okay, so here you can see that they always have some kind of real estate to back up the loan. So if something happens, they know that they can repo part of the construction to actually get the funds. Okay, so they also offer business owner occupied real estate loans. Okay, so as the name implies, this is a commercial mortgage. Okay, and they also offer revolving lines of credit. Okay, so they also offer They also actually lend to nonprofit organizations under the business loan program. So you can see that and they also offer small business loans. Okay, the only problem is, so with the small business loans, they go from $25,000 to $500,000. The only thing here is that they usually like collateralized loan. However, under very exceptional circumstances, they can do non-collateralized loans, business loans, that is. But you need to make sure that you provide as much information as possible about the business loans and about yourself during the application process. I'm talking about your tax returns, your personal tax returns, okay? And you are a new LLC, so you definitely haven't filed your let's say you haven't filed your first tax return yet, so it's fine. But they would want to see the Schedule C of your 1040. They want to see your personal financial statements, okay? But it's also important to attach to the application to the package rather. To the package, you want to attach a business plan, okay? It has to be compelling, it has to be captivating, but you want to attach that. So let me give you an overview. Here's the overview, but if you're trying to get a business loan for your new LLC, there are things you need to follow. We call it a formula, okay? You need to follow the specific steps so that you are getting the loan that you need, okay? And that you deserve, okay? First of all, you want to decide what type of loan you need to fund your LLC. It's very important because you have a diversity of loans out there, but the question is, which one do you need right now for your new LLC? Okay, do you need a business loan? Do you need a business line of credit? What do you need? Do you need a collateralized loan? Okay, do you need equipment financing? You have to be very clear about that. The second thing is you need to determine if you qualify for the new LLC business loan. This is why I was just telling you earlier, you need to have a relationship with the bank, okay? Because they will ask you a constellation of things. They want to see your credit score. They'll ask you about your credit score, how long you have been in business. Of course, you have to tell them that, hey, listen, I just started. However, I've been with y'all for the last 5 years or 10 years and whatnot. Okay, you have to be clear. You have to tell them that. Okay, and the thing is, does your business plan sort of feature a solid projected cash flows? Okay, in other words, do you expect to make money for the business? Okay, and so you need to determine what payments you can afford, because the whole thing is you have a new LLC business, right? You getting a loan for that business. Now the payments must come from your personal assets, that is. So make sure that you can afford the payments. Okay, and the cool thing is a lot of banks allow you to. They have a business loan calculator on their website, so you can actually see if you can actually afford. Okay, and decide whether and how you want to collateralize the loan. This is another consideration that we have been seeing time and again. Okay, and try to compare small business lenders. Don't go with the first one. This is and you can also consider micro lenders. Yeah, micro lenders can be really good in terms of if you have a bad credit or no credit history, or if you are a new LLC business and you cannot get a traditional loan, there is a backup plan. Okay, the only thing with micro lenders is that, as the name implies, the loan that you're gonna get, it might be small. Okay, we're not talking about $500,000. We're not speaking about $100,000. We're probably speaking about less than $50,000. But as long as your business loan program or business loan needs are not as high, then you should be good to go. Let me give you a few pro tips before we close to this conversation. The thing here is you have a new LLC business. You need a loan, okay? And how do you apply for that loan? Like specifically? Well, I've said before that for all these banks that I just mentioned, KeyBank, Truist, Capital One, Fifth Third, and Citizens, BMO Harris, First Republic, what do you have to do? First, establish a personal relationship with them, because they are going to look at your relationship with them, and they're going to look at your history, how you maintain one account, two accounts, whether you had a history of non-sufficient funds event, NSF event. like overdrafts and whatnot. Okay, so they'll pay attention to this. So they pay attention, of course, to your FICO score. It's important. And usually, if you have a fair credit score, you should be good to go. So how do you apply it? So here are a few things I want you to put on the application form, and preferably, I want you to apply at a branch. Okay, don't you try to disappoint me by seeking an online application. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. And the thing is, they are going to deny you as fast as possible. You don't want that. So put on the application form your business's name and address. Okay, it has to be a legit business. Very important. Okay, don't you try to apply for a new LLC business loan if you haven't gotten all the fundamentals in order. Because if you're a new LLC, there are things you have to have, right? You need to have a registered service, or do it yourself if you feel like doing it. Trying to make sure that you have articles of incorporation. This is important. You want to have a certificate of good standing, what they call initial certificate of good standing from the state where you applied. Okay, very important. So they also want to have your EIN. So this is a business tax ID number. You got to have a business plan. I've spoken earlier about that. And listen, I'm not talking about just a regular business plan. I'm talking about a solid business plan. Because if you're a new LLC, you better put all your chips, all your all the things that really help you out to get the loan. Okay, so you got to put all the chips in your favor. That's the phrase I was looking for. So, and also you need to prepare a business loan proposal. In other words, you want to explain to the lender why you need that business loan, how it's going to help you, and all that kind of stuff. So this is really, really important. Don't forget to have projected or forecasted financial statements. Okay, do it for at least 1 year to 3 years, so they know they can actually project themselves, the lender and you can have a clear idea of where you see your business in the next 3 years. So this is totally possible. Okay. Before I close today's conversation, I want to share with you our loan evaluation approach. We have a system in place whereby we analyze and categorize business loans. Check this out. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was actually sharing with you the top 5 new LLC business loans from big national banks that they actually pull personal Equifax for fair credit. Number 1, KeyBank, 9.7 over 10. Number 2, Truist, 9.4 over 10. Number 3, Capital One, 9 over 10. Number 4, Fifth Third, 8.6 over 10. Number 5, Citizens, 7.9 over 10. And in our bonus category, we have 2 lenders I want to share with you. BMO Harris, 7.6 over 10. And First Republic, 7.3 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.